Hi, it's Chris from TimeToPlayMag.com, and welcome to our continuing conversations with Emily Vanek about toys for children with special needs. Emily is a mom. She's not a therapist or a doctor, as she will tell you, but she's a mom who's been living this in the trenches, and she gives advice on our site about toys that might be appropriate for kids with special needs. So, big question we get, are there any toys I should avoid?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Thank you for joining. No.
Any toys that do too much. That's my big thing. A toy is okay if it does one or two things, or if you can turn off features of certain toys, maybe not have it talk if you want it to do other things, but toys that do too much are kind of the ones that just rub me the wrong way.
Now, I know you're really supportive of toys, but you want to give me an example or just a kind of toy? See,
I don't even really have like a specific example. There was, oh no, I do. There was one, a ride-on toy, and I think it was Little Einsteins or some Disney character, and it, not only did it talk to you and it had characters that you could move and put in the front and take out of the front, but then it had the dreaded piano on it, and then it had, you know, if you flipped a different button, then the piano did different noises, and it lit up, and it was way too overstimulating to have a whole panel. It almost looked like an airplane console. There was just so many gadgets on there, and they all did something else.
So what you're talking about, there's a lot of stimulation even for a typical kid, but how do you know if, in your experience, if Brady, for example, if you've given him a toy and there's way too much going on, does he let you know?
Yes, he'll yell, he'll back away. If he gets too excited, he'll even stiffen his whole body. There are a lot of autistic characteristics that you hear of hand flapping and that sort of thing. He doesn't do that, but he'll draw everything into his core, and just like, that is not happening.
Right, because he's scared, he doesn't know how to process it, it's overstimulated.
Yes,
it's that simple.
He might not be scared of the toy if it's quiet, but as soon as it turns on, like we have a giant dinosaur in his bedroom, and as soon as it turns on and plays music, he doesn't want anything to do with it. If it's quiet, he loves the thing.
So what should a parent do? I mean, that's a great example. You've got the big dinosaur, don't turn it on.
Right.
Any other advice for parents if you find a toy that's overstimulating?
If their kids just are constantly either going to that toy all the time and will ignore every other toy, they might be, you know, too stimulated by it and then kind of craving it. On the flip side, if they just are totally avoiding a toy, take it away for 2 or 3 weeks and then try to reintroduce it. I'm, you know, never fully give up on any toy because I love them all.
Right.
But you know, in 2 to 3 weeks, maybe their mind pattern or their tendencies might be a little bit different, and so you might be able to reintroduce it and have totally successful results. So
something that might be intimidating on the first try, as you get more familiar with it, the child's able to accommodate it.
Yeah. Sounds
like a typical learning pattern. Yeah, exactly. It's like, for me, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then, you know, by the 8th or 10th time, I learned it. So it's so there's a lot of sort of typical learning. It's just amplified, I guess, by the autism. Break it
down. It's just like so many people say, well, I can't wait for my child to walk. For me, I can't wait for him to crawl, to get up on hands and knees, and then to take his first step. You know, all those different milestones. So many people just glaze over and hit the big milestone. When you have a special needs kids, you want to hit each and every individual milestone and just really focus on those.
You know, I remember when my sister was growing up and we had to teach her things, and we had to break everything down into its component parts, and I didn't know that there are 80 steps to taking a shower. Yeah. that we don't think about, but
there's 6 steps to washing your hands, and we have to get Brady, you know, introduced into each and every step along the way.
So are there toys that sort of they learn step progression? They're good toys for that?
There's a lot of apps out there that'll teach them maybe what the letter looks like first, then how it sounds, and then how to draw it out, and then what that letter spells with another letter later on down the road. That really breaks apart the, you know, instead of M is for monkey and it makes a monkey noise, it really shows them, you know, first this is what an M looks like. Right. And next this is, you know, maybe what an M sounds like.
Right. Well, I've always thought even for any child that was a better way to learn, because you know you see M is for monkey. A lot of the toys from the 80s, the early electronic learning age, you would hear a word, but then there was nowhere to transfer it. So the learning didn't happen. They might learn it by rote, right? But they're not learning. Right. So it's breaking it down into
absolutely baby steps.
Okay. And what do you do as a mom when you get frustrated? Because you may get frustrated, right? With this.
Absolutely. What I do is I always kind of, you know, I'm lucky enough that we have 2 older children that really love to help out. And a husband that loves to come in and take over and get to be the fun one while I do all the teaching. But we kind of joke around that they're the ones that teach him things like the vestibular system, which is kind of knowing your spatial awareness. And, you know, while I'm teaching him maybe what that letter M looks like, they're flipping him upside down. And that's still something that he needs to know and you know, be aware of, and doing gross motor things with them while I get to do something else. And so really it just helps to have a support team around that you can kind of divvy up the responsibility.
Right, and it sounds like kind of normal play
Yep.
with an increased focus on the fact that you're really trying to teach something.
Exactly.
That's great. Well, Emily writes a lot about special needs for us. You can check out our special needs section on timetoplaymag.com. Look at our reviews. There's a special needs icon on there. Click on that and you'll get some of Emily's experience in dealing with these toys. And we hope you'll join us for more of these conversations on kids with special needs.